Hello and welcome to See You at Kanata. My name is Travis Fleeler and I am the Director of Operations for Carleton University here in Kanata. Our conversations today are going to be meeting with student innovators. So these are the builders, the great minds, the thinkers, the leaders in our classrooms who are gaining skills and applying those skills, whether it's in co-ops, internships, capstone projects, or even working directly with companies on research and even starting their own companies. We want to showcase the type of talent that Carleton has and hopefully can translate that into how they're going to impact industry, the future, and our communities as a whole. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you at Kanata. With me today is Pablo Arzate, and he's an industrial designer turned entrepreneur and founder of 3X Mag Technologies. And he's bringing creativity and technology together to rethink how products are designed and manufactured. So Pablo, welcome. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me, Travis. It's a pleasure. Really feeling good speaking to the Carleton people and everybody else who's might be listening. So why don't we jump right into it? You're currently taking the Masters of Entrepreneurship with the Technology Innovation Management program at Carleton, the Masters program. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got into the TIMS program and why you decided to take on that challenge. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going through the TIM program, specifically the entrepreneurship pathway, and I'm 1 year in. And the shortest answer I could give you is that I was lacking the skills to take my startup, my idea to the next level, which was business management.
Sure.
And then that's why I kind of honed into that Sprott TIM program. That's what got me in. But to be also completely transparent, I also had a previous experience with Carleton professors, which brought me in just naturally.
Specifically, you had mentioned in our previous conversations about Tony Belletti.
That's right.
Who we like to call as the godfather of the TIMS program. He's been in industry for a long time, and really with the TIMS program, it's to do exactly that, is to kind of bridge that divide between the business side, the entrepreneurship side, and the innovation and technology. It's influential people like Tony who can.
That's right. And Tony specifically was one of those people that actually made me realize the value of sort of the whole framework of knowledge that Sprott could provide. I had a first master's from the Faculty of Engineering and Design in 2016, and I had some classes with Tony that just resonated with me and had me thinking I need to go back and learn something from him.
With the program, it kind of gives you an opportunity to meet lots of different people, but also work with some different industry partners as well. Can you talk a little bit about some of the work that you may have done on a project base, whether it's through capstones or just through some different research with your studies at the TIMS program?
The second reason I joined was for the collaboration aspect. And I knew there was going to be a lot of people working on different things, and it was sort of a bet going into that pool, that community, and finding that person that is actually maybe brushing in with what you do. So it was funny, the first day of classes, the only day that everybody went to the classroom in person, I heard the word radioactive from one of my colleagues, and I instantly just turned around because it has to do with what we do. And I started communicating with him. I started asking what's up. And right now we have a big project coming up with Canadian Nuclear Laboratories regarding monitoring of radioactive waste and stuff like that. So that's a project that came off, simply showing up on campus and talking to your colleagues.
Maybe this kind of dovetails nicely into your business with 3X Mag. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that business specifically and some of the projects that you guys have taken on and what you're currently working on?
Yeah, so 3X Mag is a startup that, it's a project that starts last year in November with the aim of doing research and development for subsurface exploration. More specifically, using geophysics to find anomalies under the ground. So we use this technology, we developed this technology, and we use it for mining specifically. But here in Ottawa, there's a big pull from the defense market. And it's very obvious to us. And one of the projects that it was really important last summer, during June, was the Mer Blue experience. We went to Mer Blue, funded by an internship from Sprott, from Carleton. And we created this pilot project to find bombs, unexploded ordnance, that had been
Nothing
buried in the
big,
pit.
just
Nothing
some
big.
bombs.
That's right.
Yeah, bombs.
And just bombs that have been there for 60 years.
Yeah.
1,000-pound bombs. And we decided to go and explore the application of our technology, validate our technology in this new setting, because it's not mining, it's a defense setting, UXO, unexploded ordnance. And we created this whole pilot project that brought together stakeholders from academia, from private industry. And we showed some results to D&D, and it's been very successful. Since then, it's been kind of like snowballing into more and more defense.
But I guess my question for you is, can I still walk with my dog and kids through Mer Bleu, or we gotta be concerned about these bombs that are hanging out there?
I think as long as you stay in the pathways and you don't go 1.5 kilometers of them, you're gonna be okay.
So dog on leash.
Dog on leash,
okay.
yes.
Good,
yes.
noted. So obviously you do a lot in the mining industry, and detecting, I think, critical minerals is one of the things that you had mentioned in our previous conversation, and obviously now you can detect objects like bombs.
Yeah.
What are some other like out of the box, out of the blue kind of items or under the surface things that you guys do also look for?
Yeah. So I think before answering that, I would like to say like what we're doing is basically the digital transformation of geophysics, of a physics process. So there are a lot of those case studies that are not obvious initially, but they have a function. So for example, we just signed a contract to go to Honduras to find geothermal sources. Right, okay. So that means volcano activity for energy resources. That's huge, and that's a niche that it's also getting a lot of attention from us. We are also in the defense sector looking for anomalies in the front lines. For example, mass graves. Mass graves is something that nobody likes to talk about. It's something that simply a horrible part of what's happening right now. But we have now the technology to try to find those spots and try to help close that circle or close that gap between the unknown.
And obviously, you said you're working with Honduras. Your work obviously isn't limited to Canada. Where else have you been doing some exploration and partnering with industry for some of the work that you guys can do?
Yeah. So Canada is really important. Canadians, we really like mining, and we're not only in Canada, right? So a lot of our clients are maybe Canadian, but they're outside of Canada. So we've been to Dominican Republic, Honduras, Mexico, obviously, the States, Canada, mostly in the Americas, right? North America and Central America. We're getting a lot of attention and people from Africa and Europe, but we haven't gotten there yet. I'm hoping that soon we'll get the capability to do so.
So tell us a little bit more, if you can, go into a little more detail about the surveying of the land. Like how are you conducting this? Where are you manufacturing the drones, and how are you putting everything together to conduct this work?
So what we did really is not design a drone. We say we're drone agnostic, right? Okay. We designed a payload, a sensor, more specifically a 3-axial flux gate magnetometer. And
I know what that is.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe somebody knows out there. And we decided to integrate it with a bunch of other sensors, right? This basically allowed us to take a super overpowered sensor from a satellite, put it in a drone, and provide accessibility to exploration at a fraction of a cost, right? Usually these equipments or these studies are done with helicopters, planes, or field crew. What we're doing now is creating our own payload, our own equipment, specialized for UAV mobility, and we continue to develop it for this specific purpose, the drone. So what we do is that we go to the fields with the drone, with the equipment. We survey the land, we do a grid, and then while the drone is flying, it's collecting magnetic data, and we get to process that really fast using automated processes, machine learning, neural networks, and we get reports. So this whole cycle of digitalizing that old school geophysics process is what we're all about, and what's giving value to our clients.
So just thinking about the design aspect of it, you have to be very creative in how you're putting these things together. What are some items or products or kind of pieces that you've used that you wouldn't necessarily think kind of fit with a drone to kind of make it work for your design?
Yeah. Well, there's this term with the team that we say guerrilla innovation, right? Where we use whatever we have in hand that actually works. So we've ended up using fishing rods, like literal fishing rods, to create prototypes for our payload, right? Like stuff that we've moved from fishing rods to 3D printing to using tape and wires, whatever it is.
Not necessarily pretty, but functional.
That's right. Not necessarily pretty, but function. But that's where we're going. We want to make it pretty in the sense of functional. Formula One cars, how they look really good. They don't do them so they look good. They look like this because they work. So that's our goal a little bit with our new payload.
Very cool. As a designer, what's one product that you would love to redesign from scratch? Thinking outside of the box here for a second.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, there's so many things now with AI and the IoT that you just think, everything can be integrated. Whenever we go in the field, we have to take notes the old school way, right? Like the flight log is like by minute, height, distance, signal. We need this thing, but with machine learning or assisted reality log. So what I imagine is not a book, but like a lens. Somebody saw Dragon Ball once. They had this lens where you have the assisted reality. I want to do that. So I don't know. You're not reinventing the book, but you're reinventing that application of logging the flight. It's a really hard task to be looking at the drone and at the same time doing notes and gathering all that information.
Talk to me a little bit more about collaboration. Obviously, with the TIMS program, there's a lot of group work. There's a lot of collaboration that happens there. But do you find yourself working outside of the TIMS program, the TIMS network? Are you collaborating with different departments, different faculties, different stakeholders on the Carleton campus? And if so, like how has that been to access those different individuals and work with them?
Well, it's definitely been a learning journey. Most definitely, you want to be doing that, right? Like you want to be reaching out to people, and I have been reaching out to people. So I believe collaboration, and more specifically multidisciplinary collaboration, is what gives momentum and gives drive to whatever project. There was very early in my journey, I realized that I couldn't do it all. I wanted to learn engineering, but I also wanted to learn programming, and I also wanted to be a salesman and a CEO. I couldn't do it. So you need to collaborate. You need to find these people that are willing to share that skill and to share that knowledge. And it only comes when you can provide value going both ways.
Right. I think that's a really great point that you bring up about just that multidisciplinary collaboration, because from an industry perspective, maybe they're focused on engineering solely, maybe they're focused on software development, but working with the universities is you have access to all those different departments where you can kind of get some different insights and thinking outside of the box. Or you're not you don't specialize in marketing and you need to want to commercialize your product and you want to market it. Well, how can you do it in-house if you don't know anything about that? Well, that's where being able to work with a university at the research level or at the partnership level, I think can come hand in hand. Okay, I want to go do a little fun segment. I know we talked a little bit about your design, so I'm going to name some random objects, and I want you to give me one sentence on a redesign idea to make it smarter and more sustainable. Okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a water bottle.
A water bottle. Does it need to be something that doesn't exist? Because I don't know if it exists, but I need a water bottle that reminds me and bullies me to drink water. So maybe
fair enough.
That's a sentence, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A bully bottle.
Yeah, bully bottle.
A bully
That's
bottle.
right.
I like it. We can work with that.
Yes,
I'm much the same as you. I don't drink nearly enough water. This does have water in it, but I get my water intake via coffee.
That's right. Yeah.
I like that. A bully bottle. Next one. What about a backpack? A redesign to make it more sustainable or smarter?
I guess the idea of your backpack being your power bank is already out there, but probably like an integrated electronics backpack, command center. I'm thinking like a field guy.
Solar powered.
Yes.
Solar powered bag.
That's right.
Anything can plug into it.
Right. Yeah. Solar powered, and then it needs to have, what worries me the most is the plugs. You know how we don't just use USB, we use like 5 or 6. Yeah. So I need to customizable solar powered command center backpack.
Yeah. With the power chargers where you just have to slide your device in and it doesn't have to be hooked up. It just powers up. Yeah, I like that. This one might be a little different, but how would you redesign a chair?
Maybe, because we're all high tech, we just use like one single, like, how do you call it, like a bar?
Yeah.
No base, but we make it with sensors that,
so it adjusts your
so it
posture.
Calibrates. So it doesn't matter where I move, that chair, it's gonna balance itself.
Okay, excellent. All right. Do you want to talk about a little bit about your experience prior to coming into the TIMS program, and I know you had a few different experiences coming in, and how that helped you with your current studies?
Yeah, I mean, I think since I started my career as an industrial designer, I wanted to be an inventor. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of what drove me to do all of this, but also the experience of, just the life experience of having people around you that are also driven by other stuff is, in my eyes, something that I always wanted to leverage. But being an inventor part and wanting to create stuff and connect these multiple disciplines and skills is what actually brought me here to Canada to do my first master's in engineering and design. That experience was something that I wasn't expecting. I ended up working with neurobiologists, but it was something that completely took me out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when I realized that that's what I needed to do to grow. Yeah. And it's something that I've kind of kept myself doing, getting myself out there. Shortly after my master's, I got a really good experience working at Invest Ottawa in the prototyping lab. So I got a lot of exposure to working with startups or government organizations, doing prototyping and additive manufacture more specifically. I was in charge of the 3D printing lab and the industrial design. So all of this sort of experiences and brushes with people that were trying to get their ideas and their product out there, it just made me itch to do my own thing, right? I looked back at my life and I said, oh, you still want to be an inventor and you still have these people that are so skilled and you can leverage that. Mm-hmm. So I think all of that experience is what actually got me to say, okay, let's go back to school, learn something about business, and at the same time do an incorporation of the company and take the jump, I guess.
No, that's great. So what's next for 3X Mag, would you say? Obviously, you got to finish up your studies. Yeah. And then it's going to be full steam ahead on the next phase for 3X Mag.
That's right. Well, I want to finish my studies strong with a couple projects that solidify that network that I was able to build, right? It's not something that I want to just leave there. It's something that I hope to keep growing and keep being involved. We just got a contract in South America, so we want to do that. And we are really open, and what's next to us is to find that contract here in Canada. Right. And those collaborators, that people that want to work with us, validate our technology, either in mining or defense, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to creators who want to turn ideas into impact, what piece of advice would you give to them?
So an MVP, right? A minimum viable product. You need a prototype to show your idea. It doesn't need to be physical. It just needs to be a medium so you can convey your idea. The second one would be the multidisciplinary collaboration is a must. If you think you can do it all by yourself, you're wrong. You can't. There might be some people that are superhumans and can.
Well, those are the people who have no time for anything else.
Yeah, but even so, I believe that they don't do them by themselves. There's always people supporting them. There's always people collaborating with them. And the third one would be something that I learned now, like this last couple of years, maybe year and a half, which is the power of asking, the power of reaching out. If you don't know something, or if you need to learn something, write an email or pick up your phone and call that person. This I call a superpower because I didn't have it before. And you send an email and then you sit there and wait. That's not enough. Like if you want to know something, go and knock some doors. People are much more open than I imagined before I started doing this. And just that one, just asking and being reaching out is what I think has been my biggest tool to get where I am.
Oh, that's great advice. And it's so true that people are so afraid of being turned down or but when you really break it down, what's the worst that can happen is you get told no.
Yeah.
Pick up, move on to the next. Right?
That's right. So, and people, I've heard no. I've heard their answer, I can't help you, but I know someone that can. Yeah. And that's what the whole networking is about, right?
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to just kind of following along with 3X Mag and seeing where you go, and obviously with your studies as well. You have a little ways to go, but we appreciate you carving out some time for us to talk about your journey and where things are going. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you for joining us for See You at Kanata Talks. We hope that you were able to gain a little bit of insight of some of the skills that our students are learning here in the classroom and how they're applying those directly, whether it's in clubs, whether it's in industry, or just on their own little research projects as well. With that, we want to invite you to reach out to us at See You at Kanata. We're here to help direct you to students, create that talent pipeline, or even to partner with us on a research capacity as well. As we may have learned from some of these sessions, there is so much that the university can offer, and we're here in Kanata to help you access that as well. So thank you for joining See You at Kanata Talks. I'm Travis Wheeler, and we hope to see you at Kanata.